all the ministers to walk through here and tell me if it is fair to move these few families, which is already living below the poverty line, 2 or 3 levels below, because they're still using latrine in an Irish country.
Put them
2 minutes away from the main city.
And put them in worse condition. When you went on a fact-finding mission, give me a little update on what you've seen today. You guys went ahead.
What I've seen, Francis, is the complete opposite of what we are seeing on the internet. I don't know if the politicians of the day are focusing on just telling people a story on the internet. Francis, in my humble opinion, 15-20 years ago, these headlines would have worked. The reason why I'm saying that, news would have traveled around the country via a newspaper. So whatever you want to tell the rest of the country is the development. You could have took a nice picture of one house and send that to Linden and New Amsterdam and say, watch what we're doing for the country. But now we have the internet, which brings the facts to someone's living room like this. So where we're standing here now, you don't have to wait for the newspaper to bring it to you. You can see
it directly.
Live. Now, this government of the day is out campaigning. In my humble opinion, they wanted to change the narrative from that 100 and something people that died on that MVP remote. They wanted to change the headline from Ali having to answer tough questions or taking us to his farm to tell us which bank he went to get this loan, what business plan he gave them, what
Manga's own personal development bank.
Because from the little I know about financing, you must be able to give the bank proper financing to borrow that kind of money, right? And what collateral?
Huh? No, I didn't get you.
Oh. What collateral was actually used to finance this? But we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about the survival of these people. This here is a survival issue. Where these people are being asked to move to, none of them are saying they don't want to move, you know. Everybody, there's not one family member here that says
I haven't met anybody that said that.
They are grateful. What they're saying, we already got to use a latrine here, right? But at least when we don't use a latrine, we get a little running water, we can bathe. Because we ain't got wipes, right? Where they're going, they got to use a latrine, but they can't bathe when they finish using the latrine. Now, we heard the Vice President said the other day that every land is being subsidized. It costs them about $5 million per lot. Now, if you're moving these families to this area where you're paying $5 billion per lot, $1 million per lot, this building I'm in mind with all them buildings that have been given away. One is left to ask, if you're moving these families into a community with no infrastructure, where really is this $5 million being spent? And this is a real concern that Guyanese must ask. Now, we have seen a lot of kids here. Many kids are out here today. There's a young man here. He's bringing his chair because he wants to be a part of us. He's been with us for the last 2 hours. And he's carrying that chair with him because he wants to be involved, because their concern is mommy and daddy always getting pushed down. Do you understand the trauma that would be on a child's mind? Now, is this the legacy that any government would want to know, that we are now getting ready to gain 50-50 from our oil, and we can't, at a minimum, just like we ran power to these developments, these farms, so they got sheep and goats living in AC, and you're telling me we're
the chicken too, the chicken got AC too, don't forget the chicken.
People to live in a community with no, at a minimum, running water,
no light,
now
no
where
drains.
these people are going, mind you, we've been there, less than a mile away or half a mile away, there is electricity. What would it take to plant 5 more poles to extend that electricity with 2 transformers for these couple families? What would it take for them?
As a matter of fact, down the end there, we're going to show you on the canal.
All the houses is there.
Yeah, they got the houses in there.
What would it take for GWI to go and tap into the same main and put some running water there for these people? What would it take, Francis? So the question is not that the families don't want to move. Is they're being forced to move to live somewhere where there's no infrastructure. The mosquito, them big stuff. But here's the last and final thing. All of these children now have to find their way to school. Now, the minimum wage in this country is what, $3,000-$4,000 a day to get in and out, just in and out of that community, because there's no public transportation. You don't have to call a taxi. It's 1,500 in, 1,500 out, which is
3,000 in, 3,000 out. So you could spend more on the taxi than you making in a day.
You get my point?
Wow.
So it costs these people $6,000 not to go to work, to get out of the community. So if you look and you realize, oh shoot, we forget to bring rice. That bag of rice is the bag of rice plus $6,000. If you realize you run out of cooking oil, so it's either you decide that day not to cook, or you now need $6,000. The government should have at least said, you know what, I will provide transportation for these kids. $1 billion contract, which it is alleged over close to $800 million already spent, and it looks like it's abandoned because there's no machine out there. Do you know how much we're gonna build all these houses? It's 1.5 billion, and the man done collect 700 alleged million. Do you know we could have built a house for all of Guyana first? But right now, what we're seeing is these people are treated less than black belly sheep, because they're being placed in an area to live where there's no dignity. None. Now we passed, I don't know if you saw a woman, a 76-year-old woman, a 79-year-old man here who lived with his grandchild. Imagine that. Now he has to now go back there and live. He has to now go back there and live. Where is the dignity for the people in Guyana? So we're not out here we are here because the government is claiming that everybody's in the opposition just to object. We have seen you say publicly that there is progress. So we're asking them, all the trolls, all the ministers, to walk through here and tell me if it is fair to move these few families, which is already living below the poverty line, 2 or 3 levels below, because they're still using latrine in an Irish country.
Put them
2 minutes away from the main city.
And put them in worse condition. And if you call that development, Francis, I said it earlier in the earlier live, and I'm going to say it on this live, I would prefer not to switch no side. Because we're hearing, you know, people, every time you look at the news, they left in the PNC because the other side is better. I sat my ass on the ground up there, and I'm going to sit on this seat here on the ground with these people. Because I prefer outside of Parliament than to be on any side. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's no government right now that cares for the people of this country. So we're better off in this Parliament here with the people. All right, I agree with you. I will check.